Introverts, the most mysterious and baffling beings among us all. While there are many exciting personality types, introverts remain an interesting bunch to describe. There are many theories featuring introverts like Eysenk's dimensions of personality, Ocean's Big Five, and Cattell's 16 factors. However, Myers-Briggs introverts, or INTPs as we call them, have a unique set of personality traits, and they are referred to as the architects. We will talk about why we call them that later. But their uniqueness has been a subject of discussion for a lot of personality psychologists throughout history. With a unique set of traits including introversion, intuition, thinking, and perceiving, INTPs have an unconventional way of perceiving and creating ideas. Since they operate on highly executive cognitive functioning and creative problem solving, they have a hard time navigating the laws of man. Not many things make sense to INTPs in the human world as we know it. However, due to the same revolutionary thinking, there are certain things that can only be discerned by these imaginative logical beings. So, in today's video, we will talk about how this mysterious yet highly intellectual personality type thinks, and 10 things that only make sense to these types of introverts. 1. So you might not be surprised at the first one on our list: the feeling of being misunderstood. It is one thing that they grow accustomed to over their lifetime. Let's be honest. If there are only 3% of other humans that share the same interests and characteristics as you, chances are that a majority of people would misunderstand you too. Several researchers also associated this feeling of being misunderstood as one of the significant characteristics in INTPs, and it also shapes their personality to be unique and authentic in regards to others. Imagine what Socrates must have felt when he shared his nonconformist views to the 5th century BCE Greeks. Obviously, he felt misunderstood and executed for his beliefs. And so is the case with many INTPs, although they may not be executed in the modern times for their nonconformist beliefs like Socrates was. But they are not commonly understood by many people because of their intellect. 2. Metacognition. When René Descartes said, "I think, therefore I am," what he really meant was metacognition. The only thing that made sense to an INTP like Descartes is thinking long and hard about their own thoughts, in a reflection. Metacognition can be defined as thinking about thinking. In other words, it refers to the processes used to plan, monitor, and assess one's understanding and performance. The capacity to think and perceive in this way gives them a unique ability to form original and authentic ideas, and that is the reason many INTPs in the past, like Charles Darwin, Marie Curie, and Socrates, made universally recognized use of their metacognition. But how much is too much? Especially when it involves thinking about your own thoughts. Well, this brings us to the next thing that an INTP would only understand. 3. Indecisiveness. The thinking and perceiving part of these INTPs helps them to simulate multiple solutions and associated consequences for a single problem within their mind. Although it sounds very cool, it can easily cause indecisiveness because you are sure what might happen if you take a particular course of action over other options. And this leads to an endless debate of why this or why that. The same goes for social interactions as well. Indecisiveness is one particular feeling that they frequently come across while living their personal and social lives. 4. Small talk. Which brings us to our next thing that is particularly not understood by these INTPs is the need for small talk and social intricacies. Although these rare personality types are the most interesting humans to interact with, conventional social friendliness might not be their strong suit. Let's put it like this. The introvert in them hates social interactions. The thinker and intuitive in them sees past the formalities and social obligations, which makes them somewhat appear as antisocial, as suggested by several studies. Their logical thinking makes it difficult for them to interact with people just for the sake of socializing, and instead have quality friendships. However, they do like to have intellectual debates. They would much rather prefer to engage in a meaningful discussion with someone than just talking about unnecessary things. So, if you bring up Taylor Swift's new album and ask them about their favorite song, they would be happy to discuss the in-depth analysis of her songs, rather than talking about which one they like the most. 5. Intellectual debates. The intuitive and perceiver in them is positively stimulated by analyzing and critiquing the areas they find interesting. An in-depth discussion on some social construct is their idea of watching Wednesday on Netflix. You can absolutely rely on them to provide you with the most accurate, authentic, and original reviews on movies, songs, or hotels that they find interesting. Sometimes it can be perceived as boring, but they really know how to have fun, although they have unconventional ways of entertainment sometimes. 6. Intellectual problem solving as entertainment. The one thing these introverts love is a good sweat for their mind. Be it the panic room, Sudoku, or a jigsaw puzzle, these types of introverts love playing games that challenge their intellect and make them think or perceive harder. Although generic games like chess and crossword puzzles might not only be their priority, anything that they are interested in doing for entertainment involves mental functions one way or another. Even their choice of physical games might also involve some degree of mental input, like planning and organizing that keeps them going. Other sources of entertainment might involve advanced hobbies, learning a new skill, or debate clubs. 7. Rebelliousness and challenging status quo. The feeling of rebelliousness is not unbeknownst to these humans. Thinking and perceiving helps them to create original ideas, which makes it difficult for them to side with anything inefficient or traditional, making them a rebel. They are also observed to have higher rebelliousness as compared to other people. Just like Socrates and Einstein, they defy the status quo and elements they perceive to be unfit for the proper functioning of their world. Sometimes that gets a bit out of hand too. Research mentioned that they are also more likely to drop out of school, to be arrested for non-substance abuse crimes, and to be considered making disciplinary problems at home. Rebels at heart. But history has proved that this rebelliousness affects change and contributes a significant part in human evolution. 8. Objectivity and emotionality. The emotions are also another thing that INTPs find easy to navigate while making decisions. The objective analyst or the logician part allows them to function independently of their emotions. According to Myers, thinking is making decisions based on cause and effect, while being impersonal, perceiving is referred to as being spontaneous and attentive to the natural world. That's exactly what these introverts do. Because of their thinking capabilities, the decisions that are based in logic and objectivity make way more sense to them than the decisions clouded by emotions. So, it is possible that their typical reaction to a heartbreak would not be crying all day on the couch or getting their hair dyed. But they could inwardly reflect or outwardly react to find the reasons and explanations for it, and objectively perceive the whole thing. 9. Over-planning. Every INTP has gone through over-planning and organizing at some point in their lives. The architect, mentioned before in the video, refers to their capacity to plan. and in some cases, overplan things. It is a perk that comes with metacognition. Since INTPs' frontal lobes play a significant role in their decision-making, they run different scenarios in their minds to help them find alternative solutions. Micromanaging, overplanning, and foolproof organization skills are some of the things that might not bother them. In fact, provide them with a bit of comfort against the problem. But this overplanning might leave them drained and distracted for the task at hand. 10. Self-actualization. This concept might as well be the mantra for INTPs, and it is crystal clear to them because it resonates with everything they stand for. Achieving their full potential is one of the innate desires that these types of introverts have. Since they have a way of objectively seeing everything around them, it helps them to monitor their progress and evolve accordingly. They are more likely to be self-actualized because they have cognitive and emotional components that enhance their ability to plan, monitor, and assess their own understanding and performance puts them on a direct path to actualization. INTPs in Myers personality types are the rarest of kind, but their existence has overall changed the course of human history by providing revolutionary contributions in philosophy and science alike. Although these true types in Myers-Briggs research are heavily debated and critiqued, there is some element of truth that has kept it being used as the most commonly administered personality type indicator in a lot of companies and organizations. So, it is not a template, but a guide to this unique personality type. So, in short, in today's video, we learned about INTPs and their executive functioning, how this executive functioning helps them to self-actualize, objectively make decisions whilst managing their emotions, challenge status quo and navigate the world whilst occasionally experiencing personal and social problems like overplanning, social awkwardness, feelings of being misunderstood, and indecisiveness. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear all about it. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share, and subscribe so that we may help you and your friends discover the power of your psyche.